Dear students, in this video on laws of motion, we will study law of conservation of linear momentum, some pulley or lift problems and other numerical problems. So let us begin with law of conservation of linear momentum. This is a universal law and the statement is when no external force acts on an isolated system of bodies, then the total linear momentum of the system remains conserved. So first try to understand isolated system. Supposing you have a system of two or more bodies, right? Now when no external force is acting on the system whatsoever, then the system is said to be isolated. दो या दो से ज़्यादा बॉडीज़ का कोई सिस्टम है और उस सिस्टम पर बाहर से कोई फोर्स नहीं एक्ट कर रहा है तो उसको हम कहेंगे आइसोलेटेड सिस्टम. बट द बॉडीज़ कैन अप्लाई फोर्स ऑन ईच अदर. ये बॉडीज़ आपस में एक दूसरे के ऊपर फोर्स लगा सकते हैं. दीज आर कॉल्ड इंटरनल फोर्सेस. और इंटरनल फोर्सेस की वजह से इनके मोमेंटम अलग अलग चेंज हो सकते हैं बट total linear momentum remains conserved. That means total momentum always remains constant. So let us see how it happens. Supposing we have two bodies m1 and m2 moving with initial velocities u1 and u2. We have two bodies m1 and m2 moving with initial velocities u1 and u2 before collision and no forces are acting on them. Now, the bodies of the system are interacting with each other, colliding. So, M1 and M2, now they are interacting means they are applying force on each other, right? So, force on body M1 is F12 or this force is applied by body M2. सो M1 पर M2 फोर्स लगाता है F12 और M2 पर M1 फोर्स लगाता है F21, राइट. एंड इस इंटरेक्शन के बाद ये बॉडीज़ फिर से अलग हो जाते हैं. तो दीज F12 एंड F21 आर इंटरनल फोर्सेस और उसके बाद फाइनल वेलोसिटी ऑफ M1 बिकम्स V1 एंड फाइनल वेलोसिटी ऑफ M2 बिकम्स V2. सो आफ्टर कोलिजन, सो नाउ the total momentum before collision, see, momentum before collision is momentum of first body m1 u1 plus second body m2 u2 and momentum after collision, momentum of first body m1 v1 plus momentum of second body m2 v2. And there is no external force acting on the system. So according to this law of conservation of linear momentum, the total momentum before collision must be equal to total momentum after collision or m1 u1 plus m2 u2 must be equal to m1 v1 plus m2 v2, right? So let us see how we prove it. So for that, masses m1 and m2 are interacting for time delta t. So we can use second law of motion. So force on mass m1 is F12. Now see, this symbol F12 means force on first body due to second body and F21 means force on this first body by the second number. जो पहला वाला नंबर है वो नंबर है जिस बॉडी पर फोर्स लग रहा है और दूसरा वाला वो है जो कि फोर्स लगा रहा है, राइट. सो यू शुड बी क्लियर अबाउट दीज सिंबल्स. नाउ सो फोर्स ऑन m1 is F12 and according to second law of motion this is rate of change of linear momentum. So change of momentum of mass m1, that is delta p1 upon time taken delta t, and change in momentum is final momentum of m1 v1 minus initial momentum of m1, that is m1 u1 upon time taken. Similarly, force on m2 is F21, that is rate of change of its momentum delta p2 upon delta t, and delta p2 is final momentum m2 v2 minus initial momentum m2 u2 upon time taken delta t. Okay, and now the net force on the system is zero. ये फोर्सेस एक दूसरे पे तो लग रहे हैं लेकिन सिस्टम पर नेट फोर्स जीरो है. सो सम ऑफ द फोर्सेज इज F12 प्लस F21 इज जीरो वेक्टर. सो पुट द वैल्यूज फ्रॉम इक्वेशन 1 and 2. आपने दोनों वैल्यूज डाल दिया. यू कैन सी दैट डेल्टा टी कैंसिल आउट हो जाएगा. एंड जस्ट चेंज द साइड्स बिफोर एंड आफ्टर कोलिजन के लिए आप साइड्स चेंज कर दीजिए एंड यू अराइव एट दिस रिलेशन m1 u1 प्लस m2 u2. इसकी साइड चेंज करेंगे तो पॉजिटिव हो जाएंगे is equal to m1 v1 plus m2 v2. So this is total linear momentum before collision. This is total linear momentum after collision. So hence this law is proved. And a specific case, if the motion is taking in one dimension, that means if the initial velocities and final velocities are along the same line, then it is motion in one dimension. और तब हमारा काम बिना वेक्टर यूज़ किए भी हो सकता है. So we can simply write m1 u1 plus m2 u2 is equal to m1 v1 plus m2 v2. But if the motion is in 2 or 3 dimension, then you have to consider the vectors. That means supposing कि एक body इधर चल रही है, the other body is coming this way and they are colliding, and after collision they are taking different directions. Then we need to use the vector form. Okay, so now another very important statement. Newton's second law is the real law of motion. Now we can say so only when first and third laws are contained in it. So let us try to show that first law is contained in second law. So we'll start with the first law and then we'll try to find out the second law from it. So we will start with the second law. F is equal to dp by dt, rate of change of momentum, and this momentum is mv. Now take m outside, constant है, dv by dt. Now for first law, the external applied force is 0. So when this f is equal to 0, this also becomes equal to 0, and mass m cannot be 0. So dv upon dt is 0. That means velocity v is constant. Rate of change of velocity is 0 means velocity v is constant. It can be 0 also. So when velocity is 0, it means the body is at rest, and when velocity is constant, it is in uniform motion. So we can say that when no external force is applied on a body, it remains at rest or in uniform motion. The law of inertia, or the first law. So we started with the second law. Second law से start करके हम first law पर पहुँच गए. So we can say that first law is contained in second law. Similarly, we can find out third law from second law. So for that, let us consider these two bodies, m1 and m2. They are interacting with each other, applying force on each other as F12 and F21. So masses m1 and m2 are interacting for time delta t. So forces on m1 and m2, that is F12 is equal to delta p1. Force on m1 is rate of change of its linear momentum delta p1 by delta t. Force on m2 F21 is delta p2 upon delta t. So we have used second law, and now the total forces, let us add these two. So when we add these two equations, we get F12 plus F21 is equal to, now look at the right sides. Left sides आपने ऐड कर लिया इन दोनों को, right sides को आप ऐड करेंगे इसको, तो डेल्टा टी आपका कॉमन है डिनोमिनेटर में. This delta is also common. So I have taken delta as common. Inside bracket, you get P1 plus P2. P1 plus P2 is total linear momentum of these two masses. Now external force on the system is 0. F1, F2 are internal forces. और external force 0 है, तो according to law of conservation of momentum, P1 plus P2 must be constant. और अगर P1 प्लस P2 कांस्टेंट है तो इसमें चेंज 0 हो जाएगा. दैट मीन्स दिस डेल्टा P1 प्लस P2 अपॉन डेल्टा T बिकम 0 और F12 प्लस F21 इज इक्वल टू 0 वेक्टर. एंड देन यू कैन चेंज द साइड एंड यू कैन शो दैट F12 is equal to minus F21. That means here F12 force on M1 is equal to F2 minus F21, equal and opposite forces. So that means every action has equal and opposite reaction. So we have derived third law of motion starting from the second law of motion. So third law is also contained in second law, or we can say that Newton's second law is the real law of motion. So a very important concept. And now connected motion. Let us take pulley problem now. So this is a pulley. Pulley means, say this is a ring which can rotate. ये जो ring है rotate हो सकती है और इसको ही हमने ऐसे hang किया हुआ है और इसके ऊपर एक string डाल देंगे तो ये string के साथ साथ ये pulley जो है rotate हो सकती है. This is a frictionless pulley, no friction, and there is a string on it and mass m1 is hanging on it and mass m2 are hanging from it. So weight of mass m1 is m1g acting vertically downwards, weight of mass m2 is m2g acting vertically downwards. And see, when this mass is hanged, force is acting downwards, so this tension T in the string will be upwards. Similarly here, this weight is acting downwards, so we will have tension T in the string upwards, right? And it is clear that this M2 is heavier, so M2 will come down and M1 will go up. And they will have same acceleration. जिस acceleration से M1 ऊपर जाएगा, उसी acceleration से M2 नीचे आएगा. So now we will consider their individual motions. So if we consider motion of just this M1, now M1 ऊपर जा रहा है तो net upward force निकालेंगे. तो net upward force कितना होगा? Upward force T minus downward force M1G. और acceleration ऊपर की तरफ है तो this should be equal to mass into acceleration MA. Exactly in the same way, if we consider motion of the second body, or it is coming down, so net downward force will be downward force m2g minus t is equal to mass into acceleration in downward direction, right? So we are going to write equations of motion for these two masses. So for mass m1, net force upward is t minus m1g is equal to m1a. For downward motion of m2, net force will be m2g minus t is equal to m2a. We want to find out tension T and acceleration A. We have two equations and two variables. So what we can do is add equation 1 and 2. So when you add, you can see this T plus T minus T cancelled out. These two, आप ये देखो G कॉमन ले सकते हैं. सो आई गेट M2 माइनस M1 इंटू जी एंड राइट साइड में यू आर एडिंग A कॉमन आ गया तो इनसाइड ब्रैकेट यू हैव M1 प्लस M2. सो कीप A on one side and remaining things on the right side. You get acceleration of the system as M2 minus M1 upon M1 plus M2 into G. Now if this is the case when M2 is greater than M1. If M1 is greater, then here we will have M1 minus M2. Now, you know the value of A now. Put the value of A in any of the equations and simplifying it, you can find out tension in the string, and the tension comes out to be 2 m1 m2 upon m1 plus m2 into g. So a simple derivation, and you get numerical problems based on it. Now lift problems. Very interesting problem. So before talking about lift, let me tell you something about weighing machine. जो आपका वेट लेने वाली मशीन होती है उसमें एक स्केल होता है, राइट? और व्हेन यू आर स्टैंडिंग ऑन अ वेइंग मशीन, तो आपका वेट जो है वर्टिकली डाउनवर्ड्स नीचे एक्ट करता है और ये मशीन जो है ऊपर रिएक्शन लगाती है. तो ये जो रिएक्शन है वही वेइंग मशीन की रीडिंग होती है. अगर आपकी वेइंग मशीन आपको 40 किलोग्राम की रीडिंग दे रही है तो इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि रिएक्शन जो है वो 40 किलोग्राम वेट है, राइट? सो लेट अस सी if the lift is moving up with constant velocity. So you have this lift and a person standing on it. Its weight is acting vertically downwards mg, and reaction of the lift upwards as r, and it is moving up with velocity v. A motion upward है तो हम upward force consider करेंगे, and let us see the net upward force. Net upward force is r minus mg, ऊपर वाला force minus नीचे वाला force, is equal to ma. Now since velocity is constant, so acceleration is 0, so this is equal to 0. Change the side, you get r is equal to mg. So यानी कि आपका जो वेइंग मशीन है वो जो रीडिंग दिखाएगा वो आपके वेट के बराबर ही होगा. So here the apparent weight is equal to true weight. The reaction of the lift is your apparent weight, which is shown by the weighing machine. So apparent weight is equal to true weight if the lift is moving up or down with constant velocity. Now let us see what happens if the lift is moving up with constant acceleration. So now the situation is changing here. Your weight is downwards mg, reaction r upwards, and it is moving upward with acceleration. So acceleration है, we will find out net upward force. Net upward force will be r minus w, and that should be equal to mass into acceleration a. So let's see. So net upward force is r minus mg is equal to ma. Change the side and r becomes equal to mg plus ma. So clearly this r is greater than the weight. This reaction is more than your weight. That means apparent weight is more than the true weight. So अगर आपका weight 40 किलोग्राम है तो इस R की वैल्यू आपकी वेइंग मशीन की रीडिंग 40 किलोग्राम से ज़्यादा होगी. And finally you get this reaction as m into g plus a. So R is equal to m into g plus a, right? And if the same lift is going down, then we will find out the net force acting downwards. So if the lift is moving down with constant acceleration, the net downward force is mg minus r, and it is going down now. So mg minus r, just change the sides, then r becomes equal to mg minus ma. So clearly here r is less than weight mg. जो रिएक्शन है वो इस mg से कम है. आपकी जो वेइंग मशीन है वो आपका वेट कम दिखाएगी. Apparent weight is lesser than the true weight, and the relation is r is equal to m into g minus a. Now अगर आपकी लिफ्ट के ऊपर से जो स्ट्रिंग है वो टूट गई, if the lift is falling freely, then acceleration a will be equal to g, or r becomes equal to m into g minus a. So this is 0. So this reaction becomes 0. आपकी weighing machine भी 0 reading दिखाएगी. Apparent weight is 0, and then you are in a state of weightlessness. So a very interesting problem. And now let us pick up some numerical problems. So, okay. A 50 kilogram bomb flying at 60 meter per second explodes mid-air and a part of 20 kilogram stops. Find the velocity of the remaining part. So here mass of the bomb is given to be 50 kilogram. Its velocity is 60 meter per second. One fragment 20 kilogram has velocity 0, final velocity 0, because it stops. The remaining fragment is 30 kilogram. You have to find out its velocity. So we can use the law of conservation of linear momentum, write the formula. Now before explosion the momentum is mv. After explosion दो टुकड़े हो गए तो दोनों का मोमेंटम. सो 20 into 0 for first fragment is plus 30 into v2. Second fragment is equal to 50 into 60. And from here, simplify this. Velocity of second fragment comes out to be 100 meter per second and it is along the initial velocity of the bomb. So initially bomb अगर ऐसे इस डायरेक्शन में फ्लाई कर रहा था और इसका एक पीस वहीं पर रुक गया, स्टॉप हो गया, तो जो दूसरा पीस है वो उसी डायरेक्शन में चलेगा बट विथ डिफरेंट वेलोसिटी, ग्रेटर वेलोसिटी. एंड नाउ another very interesting problem and a bomb problem again. So here a bomb at rest exploded in 3 fragments of masses as 1:1:3. 2 equal mass pieces fly off perpendicular to each other with a speed of 30 meter per second. What is the velocity of the third fragment? So एक बॉम्ब है at rest और ये सडनली एक्सप्लोड होता है. 2 पीसेस तो एक दूसरे के परपेंडिकुलर चले गए. जो तीसरा पीस है उसकी वेलोसिटी क्या होगी वो आपको पता करना है. ये जो 2 पीसेस इक्वल वाले पीसेस हैं परपेंडिकुलर गए हैं और इनकी वेलोसिटीज भी गिवन है. सो वी विल फाइंड आउट. लेट अस टेक द मासेस एज m and 3m. The ratio is 1:1:3. So let us take masses as m and 3m, the 3 fragments. Now initially the bomb is at rest, so momentum of the bomb before explosion is 0. So according to conservation of momentum, explosion के बाद भी 0 ही रहेगा. So अगर momentum तीनों particles का after explosion p1 p2 plus and p3 है तो तीनों का सम 0. So p1 plus p2 plus p3 is 0. I want to find out p3. So p3 is equal to minus p1 plus p2. Just change the side and what is given is p1 and p2 have equal magnitude is equal to mv and let it be say p. ये जो p1 and p2 हैं दो equal masses हैं. So now we are going to use vector method to find out p3, the momentum of the third particle. So here one p1, the other p2 and their vector sum p1 plus p2. And see p1 and p2 का magnitude equal है तो इनका जो vector sum है वो 45 डिग्री पर होगा. There is no doubt about it, right? And this p3 is negative vector of p1 plus p2. तो यानी कि p3 का मैग्नीट्यूड p1 p2 के बराबर होगा और डायरेक्शन अपोजिट होगी. सो वी ड्रॉ इक्वल एंड अपोजिट वेक्टर. उस मोमेंटम इज p3. दैट मीन्स अगर ये वाला जो आपका जो मास है बॉम्ब 3 पीसेस में फ्लाई ऑफ हुआ तो एक पीस यहाँ गया, एक यहाँ गया और तीसरा पीस इधर ही जाएगा. एंड नाउ since this is a straight line, this angle will be 135 degree and this is also 45, so this angle is also 135 degree. So direction of the third particle is fixed. It is at 135 degree from either of the two lighter fragments. And डायरेक्शन हमें पता चल गया. अब मैग्नीट्यूड ऑफ P3 विल बी इक्वल टू मैग्नीट्यूड ऑफ P1 प्लस P2. सो इस P1 प्लस P2 का हम मैग्नीट्यूड निकाल सकते हैं. यू नो द रिलेशन फॉर वेक्टर सम. सो एक वेक्टर ये है और एक वेक्टर ये है और इन वेक्टर्स के बीच का एंगल है 90 डिग्री. द एंगल बिटवीन P1 and P2 is 90 degree. So using relation for vector addition, P3 will be equal to under root P1 square plus P2 square plus 2 P1 P2 cos theta. Now angle between P1 and P2 is 90 degree. So cos 90, and P1 and P2 are equal. Let it be say P. So I can write P square plus 2 PP cos 90. And cos 90 is 0. So this whole term becomes 0. And you can take this P outside, which is equal to MV. Inside bracket, you are left with under root 2. Right? And now, P3 is its mass 3m into velocity v3. So, m is also cancelled on both the sides. We are left with v3. v3 is then 1 upon 3. This v is given to be 30. And under root 2 is 1.41. So you get 14.1 meter per second. Velocity of the third fragment is 14.1 meter per second. So here, and velocity is this much of this third fragment, and direction is at 135 degree with any one of the lighter fragment. So a very good problem in 2 dimensions. And here, example of a connected motion again. So let us see. You get such problems in exams also. So on a frictionless surface, 3 blocks are connected with one another with strings. You can see 3 blocks, 10 kg, 6 kg and 4 kg. इनके बीच में ये strings हैं. Find tension T1 and T2 in the strings when 40 Newton force is applied as shown in figure. ये 40 Newton force यहाँ पर अप्लाई किया है 10 किलोग्राम पर. तो आपको strings में tension बनानी है, बतानी है T1 and T2. Just see. When this one is pulled by this tension, you will find out this tension. Then it will pull it with equal and opposite force. See. This will be pulled by force T1. So ये भी इसको force T1 से वापस action and reaction pull करेगा और इस string में tension है T1. Now this one will pull this one. Look at it. Here again you see equal and opposite tensions, and the tensions are equal to T2. So action and reaction. Now we will consider motion of individual blocks. So when you talk about this block, okay, before finding out motion, we have to find out the acceleration of the system. So since force is applied along this direction, the acceleration of the system will be along this direction. So let us find out the acceleration first. Now this acceleration of the system will be applied force F upon total mass, which is 10 plus 6 plus 4, and that is 2 meter per second square. So acceleration of each block is this much. And now we will consider motion of each block separately. So अगर आप केवल इस ब्लॉक का मोशन देखेंगे तो इस पर फोर्सेस लग रही हैं 40 एंड T1. So net force on this one is 40 minus T1, and it is moving along this direction. So it is equal to MA. So okay. For motion of this 10 kilogram block, net force is 40 minus T1 is equal to mass into acceleration, that is 10 into 2, and you simplify it, this T1 comes out to be 20 न्यूटन. ये जो टेंशन T1 है ये 20 न्यूटन हो जाएगा. ये 20 न्यूटन है तो this is also 20 न्यूटन only. And if we talk about force on T2, मोशन ऑफ 4 किलोग्राम लेंगे तो इस 4 किलोग्राम पर केवल एक ही फोर्स लग रहा है T2. सो फॉर मोशन ऑफ 4 किलोग्राम ब्लॉक नेट फोर्स T2 is equal to ma, और m is 4 kilogram into acceleration is same 2, so T2 is equal to 8 Newton. We have found out tension T2 as 8 Newton and T1 as 20 Newton. अगर आप इस बीच वाले का इसका मोशन कंसिडर करेंगे, if you consider motion of this middle one, then this will be T1 minus T2 is equal to ma, and you will get the similar results. Okay, one more problem, a lift problem. Okay, a man of 70 kilogram is standing on a weighing machine in a lift. What will be the reading on weighing machine when the lift is moving up with acceleration of 5 meter per second square, moving down with acceleration of 5 meter per second square, string of the lift is broken, and take G as 10 meter per second square. So, for upward motion, apparent weight R is equal to M into G plus A. M is given to be 70 kilogram, G is 10 and A is 5. So, when you do it, you get 1050 Newton, and if you want to convert it to kilogram weight, this becomes 105.0 kilogram weight. That means reading of on the machine is going to be, reading on the machine will be equal to 105 kilogram weight. That means आपकी मशीन जो है 105 किलोग्राम वेट दिखाएगी. And for coming down, apparent weight is M into G minus A. So put the values and you get 350 Newton or 35 kilogram weight. So the reading on the machine will be 35 kilogram weight or 350 Newton. And when the string is broken, then A is equal to G, and it is apparent weight is 0, so reading on machine will be 0. It will show the state of weightlessness. So with this I come to the end of this video, and I hope that it is useful and beneficial to all of you. Thank you for watching it.